Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm privileged to welcome for a second time a very knowledgeable, experienced, wise person talking to us from Estonia, Ingvar Ishwarananda Villido. Ingvar, welcome to the show.
Thank you to have me.
Ingvar, or I should say Ingvar G, is the founder of the Shiva Temple of Estonia. He's the founder of Practical Consciousness Foundation. He's an author and a master teacher. So please tell me a little bit about what got you interested in Sanatana Dharma and the Kriya Yoga.
I was interested in my life about life itself. What it is, how it happens, and finally I reached Sanatana Dharma and Kriya Yoga, and I'm happy. That was very good finding for me.
Wonderful. So let's talk a little bit now about Sanatana Dharma. Can you explain to me and to our viewers and listeners the core principles of Sanatana Dharma and how they guide a person's life?
For me, core things in Sanatana Dharma is true self,
Correct.
Atma. It means I am, that part what I really are, not my ego, not my thoughts, emotions, and etc. And my belonging, from what I came, from what came true self. And, it came from something.
Correct.
So one call it God, but in Sanatana Dharma we say it's
All
something.
within.
What is? Yeah, we cannot describe it what it is.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct. Well said.
but it's still there.
Absolutely. And how does Sanatana Dharma define the concept of the true self? And what is the significance of Dharma in our everyday life?
My personal discoverings says it cannot be described. You can't be. You can be only with it. It means you are. Everyone knows you existing. This is our existence. That is a true self, and it's connected directly to the Atma and Paramatma idea.
Yeah.
It's actually not idea; it's reality for us.
Correct. And how would you say, for people who are Sanatana Dharma followers, how is this relevant or how can we practice it in our everyday life?
I'm really thankful for the Siddhas, for simple knowledge. First step is find who you are. Then learn where you are. What is outside world and what is inside world, and what is this knowledge there to become wise. Because after that you can find the way to the moksha. Because if you don't know ways, how you can reach moksha?
Correct. Well said. And Ingvarji, how do the teachings of Sanatana Dharma address the relationship between the individual and the universe?
Sanatana Dharma is it's connected directly to the individual because each of us have individual life, and the responsibility of this life belongs always only to us. But we are not alone here. We have a universe around us. But basically we all existing because we are from Paramatma and Stardust.
Great response.
That what is inside, this is outside. What is outside, this is inside.
Can you also talk to me a little bit about karma in Sanatana Dharma and its importance in our life?
Karma is a simple thing. If you're doing something, you have results. It's always connected to the action.
Correct.
But we acting always. We cannot be without any acts. But without knowing, we don't know how to act properly to reach freedom from karma, to become a user of Dharma. That's the thing.
Very interesting.
And yeah, we need to learn how karma works, to use viveka for it, for example, to be conscious, aware, and understand, to escape from karma.
Well said. And what, in your view, is the significance of the Bhagavad Gita in Sanatana Dharma? And what are some of the key lessons the Gita gives to us?
Gita is very good.
Absolutely.
Very good explanation. What is life and how we can develop our attitude to the life. But if it's just story and we cannot connect those stories there to our personal life, it become something what we can believe to the Gita. But for me, Gita is absolutely practical. It's fully practical. And what is the key words there? It's full of practical.
Correct.
It's, yeah, read it and look how you live your life, and then find practical things there, and it become big help for you.
Amazing. And how does Sanatana Dharma address the concept of ethical living and moral values?
Ethical living is directly connected to the karma concept, or karma law or process, and dharma too. And ethic always means three gunas, tamo, sattva, and raja, and how we are using them, because we can reach freedom only through sattva guna. And basically, all moral rules talking about using of those three main energies or concepts of the nature in right way.
Well said. And Ingvar, how does the concept of reincarnation fit into the broader teachings of Sanatana Dharma?
Reincarnation is a very important part of Sanatana Dharma, but for those persons who reached true self, for them become very clear, we are immortal. It's not concept there. But if we don't know by our experience that about the immortal true self, then we're using some concepts. Yes, reincarnation existing, and this is ruled by karma.
Very nice.
So escaping from karma means you reaching freedom or salvation, moksha.
Moksha, absolutely right. And how does Sanatana Dharma approach the concept of divine manifestations or avatars? And what is their role in the world?
Avatars are coming to the earth to teach us, to remember some old knowledges, because Sanatana Dharma is oldest knowledge on the earth. And all other knowledges in different spiritual knowledges came from it. Right. That is the very important part of Sanatana Dharma. And avatars coming and they just remember to us some very old things, what actually is part of reality, forgotten reality.
Amazing. We just spoke a little bit, and our conversation is for a short time, so we can't go in tremendous depth. We just spoke very briefly about the Bhagavad Gita. I'd also like to ask you to give me and my viewers and listeners perspectives of the Vedas and the Upanishads in Sanatana Dharma, and how they can be utilized in daily life.
All those important writings or knowledge came from nature. They are like science. To become a scientist or even user of science, you need to learn it and to understand it. Because those discoveries there, what is written down in Upanishads and Vedas, they are reality. And if someone can understand, oh, this is reality, you can learn it, and you can go over your theoretical part. And the learning means, for me, you can learn that practical part, practical understanding, then start to work for you.
Well said, well said. One more question relating to Sanatana Dharma, and then I'll move on to some other questions. How can the teachings of Sanatana Dharma be applied to modern day challenges and living?
Yeah. The Sanatana Dharma teachings actually are immortal. They can be used by any generations in any time. But explanation of those knowledges, that content, need to be modernized a little bit for modern society to make that bridge, because the old knowledge is using a little bit different language. If we compare it with the language that people using today. But it's totally can help everyone even today.
Well said. So I've got a few questions for Kriya Yoga, but before that, I'm very fascinated by the amount of effort you have put in to build the Shiva temple. Tell me a little bit about the Shiva temple. When did you think about it? How long it has taken you to build it?
Shiva temple is very important for me and for other people who knows about Shiva. Shiva is a teacher for me personally, and I'm using Kriya Yoga, not only Baba, but Kriya Yoga basically. But for me, Kriya Yoga means conscious action, or living with conscious, or Viveka is there, like I said before, and it's wise path, wise way. And yoga is not mine.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking siddhas and rishis and nuts, actually I'm sitting, I'm surrounded by them. We have a lot of, all of the murtis here. They said yoga doesn't came from mind, it came from Shiva. Means Shiva for yogis is main source, main teacher, or God.
Correct.
That's the reason why we have Shiva temple here. Not only Shiva temple, we have Shakti, we have different murtis here, and all they are connected to the real practice, to the reality, and we're using them practically
And
to develop ourselves.
Sorry, what do you say?
To develop ourselves practically.
Right.
Yeah.
And when did you start work on the temple, and how long did it take you to complete it?
We started a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it took quite a lot of effort. We're still paying debts because it's not so easy, you know. It's quite expensive. But yeah, it took a couple of years. Yeah.
Amazing. I hope I will have an opportunity to come and visit the temple one of these days if I'm traveling to your part of the world.
Yeah, everyone are welcome if they're coming to the Europe or to that part of Europe.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Ingvar, I have a few questions now for you on Kriya Yoga. What is Kriya Yoga? And I want to ask you this for a lot of our young viewers and listeners. And what are its fundamental principles?
Classical understanding about Kriya Yoga is breathing and pranayams, and it's very, very tough. But for me, it's based on consciousness. It means all what we are doing in Kriya Yoga, we know what we are doing. We know every practices, what those practices need to be done, and how to do them to achieve results. Because only individual can change his life. No one others can do that. That's the one very important part of Kriya Yoga. Only you can practice, only you can change yourself, only you can reach moksha or more higher states. You can become one to the beginning of everything,
right?
And that's the thing. all pranayams, dhyanas, mantras, and hatha yoga. All them are developed to the one purpose: to become free from our negative sides, to develop positive sides, and to go beyond our human borders, to reach finally absolute perfectness, what can be only one. Because if talking about Shiva, he is perfect. Jiva becomes Shiva means individual become one perfect. That's the liberation.
What a great response. Thank you. And how does the practice of Kriya Yoga impact the mind, body, and spirit connection?
Directly, absolutely directly. Yeah, there is many different practices for different parts of us. Yeah, and it can Kriya Yoga practices can become very, very how say straight to the point, to make real changes. What you can feel after practice. Yeah, that is changing technology. But we are changing our karmic paths, karmic system. We develop it to the more higher or more perfect being. It means it's not only connected to the moksha, it's connected to our old systems, to re-establish them to the different yeah, I can say different being.
Okay.
Different, yeah.
Okay. So I have time for two more questions for you. What are some common misconceptions about Kriya Yoga, and how would you address them?
It's too hard. It's too much effort. It's not for me, and something like that. But Kriya Yoga is not difficult. That my understanding. Of course, in Kriya Yoga has very hard parts, right? But if you're starting from simple parts, for example, how stop your thoughts, how become free from your disturbings, or how to develop your ability to concentrate, they're not so hard. Maybe some people are developed some stories about Kriya Yoga. It's so hard. No, learn. It's like in the school. You're learning, writing, and then you just are able to write, right?
Absolutely. And it becomes a part of your life then.
Yeah, right. It's become, yeah.
And my last question to you, and this is for the lot of young people who will listen to our conversation. How can beginners start their journey with Kriya Yoga? And what are the first steps they should take?
It depends, of course, of individual, but take overview of your life. Just remember and analyze it. Do you have sufferings? Do you have pains in your life? Insecurity? Look, and then you will see. If you need some strong base in your life, Kriya Yoga is for you. Because Kriya Yoga brings you beyond the sufferings. Beyond the sufferings means you become very based on your life. Whatever happens around you, is it bad or good? It means you become like Anjaneya, through life, like Hanuman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Ingvar, on that note, I just want to say thank you so much for speaking to me. It has been a fascinating conversation with you on Sanatana Dharma. I wish I had much more time to go into great depth about Sanatana Dharma. Maybe I will pick one topic sometime and have another more in-depth conversation with you. You have so much knowledge. Thank you also for speaking to me about all that has gone into building the Shiva temple. And while we were talking about the temple, you gave us some amazing insights about Shiva himself. And finally, thank you so much for speaking to me about Kriya Yoga. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, and thank you for the invitation. Maybe we can talk another time.
Absolutely. Look forward.
All the best for you and listeners.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the brand called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.